Okay, fall. Let me see what it's talking about. Let me see what it's talking about. Once again, we at the round table. Pull up a chair. We about to break bread. Tonight, I got the fam in the building. Once again, we got my big bro Greg's. Got my little
Yeah,
bro
yeah.
Mel. Mel mainly gonna be doing his thing tonight. But while we waiting on bro to come in, me and Greg's gonna build for a little bit about a few little current events and whatnot. Um, Bruh, shit, just wanted to try to get your feedback. Are we waiting on bruh about how you feel about Donald Trump and the LeBron situation, or how you even heard about
Yeah, yeah, I did hear a little bit about it and plugging in my headphones. But
it? All right, you good.
yeah, I did hear a little bit about it and uh haven't read too much of other people's responses or anything, but from what I get, man, it seemed like it's maybe distraction type stuff on Donald Trump part. Maybe he played that card just to distract or whatever. But I think that it just shows, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. It's like they want us to see that they don't care, and you know what I'm saying. It's not no secret. It ain't even trying to be covert. It's like middle fingers. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else you respond back.
Mm. You talking about to the fact he just was like basically calling that man stupid.
Yeah. So I mean, he do something that go against everything that they say about us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he break he break the he break the chain.
Right.
And so I
In
mean,
every way, like that shoot all the way from how he left Cleveland the first time, you feel me?
yeah, I think you know what I'm saying. Shout out to LeBron for real though. I mean, I hope that just set the bar and a lot of people go. I mean, not necessarily build a school, but do something to for
To
I
help the
mean,
next generation.
yeah, for wherever you're from, give back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now the motherfucking kicker was Donald Trump tried to say he like Mike better, right?
Yeah,
So you know Mike said he like LeBron better. Um, he's actually doing great for his community. You know what I'm saying? Which for me, given some of the media that Mike has allowed to go out about him, I was actually kind of shocked to hear that, from him. It hasn't been confirmed or denied. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of how Mike is too. You feel me? Like there's a few things that have been put out about him. He ain't never confirmed or denied either. Like as far as the jails and stuff. Like a lot of people think that he's invested in private prisons and stuff. So that being said, I will commend the brother for the fact that he stood with the younger brother LeBron and
yeah,
saying, I appreciate what he's doing for his community. You know what I mean? And like you said, he is breaking a lot of the stereotypes that's been placed
right.
on us as a people, let alone
My bad.
oh, wow. Nigga, that's why they call you the alien. That's why they call you the alien. You come in, goddamn, beaming on a nigga. Fuck yeah, me.
My bad. I was linking up my other thing, my computer. Now that ain't me. That's you.
Uh-uh.
I think mine was gonna do that at first. I had to plug in my headphones.
Hold on, I know how to fix that. What you do?
My
Did
bad.
you
That
edit
was.
that shit?
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought I hit the mute button, but I didn't.
which one you on? You on the? Hold on. Which one you be talking on? Cause I can mute one of them. I just gotta figure out which one you be on. The
No,
first
I'm good.
one.
I got it straight now. We good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But shit, we were just chopping it up about Donald Trump trying to play LeBron. You feel me? Like he was a sucker or something. Cause he put out the tweet calling LeBron stupid. You feel me? And said he liked Mike better. And Mike came out and said he liked LeBron and he appreciate what he doing for his community. How you feel about that, bruh?
That's what's up. Because like you, I think I heard you say something like Mike don't normally address the shit to be in the media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's what's up. I mean, and he's smart for not doing it because when you don't pay no attention to shit, the shit go away. There's motherfuckers that feed into the shit they get a headache behind what everybody else talking about. When you try to
Yeah.
defend yourself too much, you know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a new story tomorrow. So
Right.
to let
Just
that shit
know
ride
that.
to
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that he did for sure because you know what I'm saying. I think that he was getting that rap. He was like Brad was saying at first. You know what I'm saying. He was really about to get that rap, and it was almost like he ain't had no choice but to respond. I mean, he always got a choice, but it would have been in his best interest, I think, to respond
Man.
in that way. You know what I'm saying? But he said the bare minimum though. He did. He literally said the bare minimum.
I bet that nigga didn't even type it. He told us about to type that shit.
Right.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. We're like, I don't feel like I should say nothing. Somebody, like his son probably told him, like, bruh, on
Man,
look.
somebody he probably didn't even do it. Somebody did it. One of his kids or something did it on his behalf. I ain't finna let you go
Mm-hmm.
out like that, pops.
Right, that's what I said. His son probably did that shit like, no,
Yeah.
you don't even know what's at stake right now, fool. Let me go on and help you out real quick.
Nah, but I'm glad he spoke up. You know what I'm saying? At the least,
Mm-hmm. Can y'all, man, something ain't right. Hold on, family.
it just said you left.
Yeah, so that must be my computer just dropped off. Give me 1 second. Think Lily just came in too. Oh, somebody just went in the bathroom. All right, it's coming back up. Man, it been gonna pop back up like we never left. You feel me? Told y'all, family, we going somewhere tonight. Might not go out of space, man. We go at something, but
Never will.
look, don't be crushing the young niggas' dreams. No. Don't be crushing the young niggas' dreams. So tonight, like I told the family earlier, shit, we gonna, let the young OG yield the flow. So I want you to kind of, set your premise on what you wanted to talk about as far as the racial issues or whether there really is any differences.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'll start by saying, clearly there's a difference physiologically, and I'm saying that from an exterior standpoint, 'cause that's all I can see,
Mm-hmm.
between a so-called Asian person, a so-called black person, a white man, a Latino, uh, hell, I go as far as to say an African. But what does that really mean, though? So, like, the fact that there are differences amongst people, does that mean that somebody came first? Do it mean that one is less inferior than the other? Uh, does it mean that you know one needs more of this than the other? You know what I'm saying? Group of people like uh is there a truth behind uh one race having an innate uh how do you say it an instinct to kill or an instinct to just beat down the other person, um things of that nature, like what makes us tick, what makes us different, and why. That's what I want to get on tonight. And then if we got time and y'all want to talk about these meteorites.
Yeah.
I mean, we can start there, with the meteorites, unless you got a like I said, you lay your premise. You feel me? I can answer some of those questions, but even with those answers, I would like to give, what I'm saying, clear references that I can, what I mean, pull up with time. But
Right.
ask that first question first.
What
It
about the
was
meteorites?
no, 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 no.
Oh,
You said something about okay. You said the differences that you see obviously come from the outside.
right,
Um,
right.
I would like to say, given what we know, even just on the layman's level, about biology, as well as what makes up our physical form, we would have to say that it's more than skin deep. What makes our skin be what it is? You know what I'm saying? Like I would have to say, like it ain't difference of, hey, you got a heart, I don't got a heart, or vice versa. You feel me? Like, yeah, the same organs, but there's elements at play which allow for one's hue to be one way as well as the other's hue to be another way.
I
So, without being too complicated or using too many terms, like I would think, like I don't know, like what would make you think? I would place another question to you. What would make you think, or what do you think would be the reason for us to appear different to begin with? Like
I
what would
think
give that difference? If not that,
I agree with what you said. That is, there's elements at play, and I like to call it the God element or the soul because
the who?
the soul.
Oh, wow.
I don't think our physicality is limited to just your mama DNA, my DNA. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah, it's way more complex.
but I think the soul takes these elements and threads this shit together, and it's gonna look similar to who your creator was. You see what I'm saying? Because you're a representative of your mama, so to speak. So of course you're gonna look like her. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
when it comes to so that I mean that kind of almost leads to a whole nother thing, and I feel like we already to start backpedaling, uh,
In what sense?
but has your soul always existed, or was it created when you was created? So
I would say that I
say
would have to say on the face of that shit, the soul is part of the all, which was the creator
but I'm saying does
and is.
yeah, but does the creative force create you a soul upon your inception? Or is it like a soul just floating around, just waiting for a new baby to be conceived, and then it jumps into the host at that point? Because the way I see it is, like we was talking about the makeup of a person.
Hmm.
When we look at DNA, when we break that shit all the way down, we know we looking at elements that are on the periodic table. There's nothing that's not made up of these things. So essentially, we're looking at
And based on how it's arranged, that's how it appears.
yeah, basically we're looking at a being that has arranged these elements into a certain way to create this right here. You know what I'm saying? This
Mm.
is my soul's manifestation in the physical, for what we would call the physical. That's the only way
or
I can see
spirit.
it. Because when we break it all the way down, uh, you know, my blood cells are made up of the same chemicals as everyone else's, but they're arranged a certain way. What causes
Mm,
them to arrange that way? We can
So
say
do
it's
we?
DNA. We can say it's DNA
mm,
coding, things like that. But what causes the DNA to what is the intelligence behind it?
right.
So
What
we
was you finna
don't.
say, Rodney?
Do we disagree with the dominant and recessive gene theory?
I don't.
No, I don't disagree with it, but but do we fully understand it? Is my would be my question.
Yeah.
I
You know what
don't.
I'm saying?
I got a basic concept of what what a recessive could be and what a dominant, you know what I'm saying, based on those definitions or that word by itself. You feel me?
So
Absent of
from
what's it say?
to my understanding, it works like, for instance, we know dark skin and all of that, but eye color, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, like a widow's peak. Like I got a widow's peak. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
a Eddie, and from your picture, bro, you don't. So, like your mom might have had one, and your dad would have had one. You would have had one because it's a dominant trait. But I can tell you now, if you don't got one, your mom or your dad probably don't got one without looking at them,
Mm-hmm.
cause it would be dominant over a different hairline.
Right.
Right.
But then there's also different, uh, I guess, situations where you could pick up a gene from a distant ancestor. You know what I'm saying, like an eye color or a skin color or whatever. You know what I'm saying. You might, you know, pick up something like that, or one of the kids might, because it's also like a random selections type
That's what
thing
I was
going on
just
as
finna say.
well.
Would you call that a random selection or would you call that a mutation?
Could both be a little bit of both at play. I
Right,
mean,
depending perspective
yeah, I mean,
and conversation.
because you're not gonna have, it can't be fully dominant and recessive, or all your kids will be identical.
Basic. But with that being said, could it be that that individual spirit unknowingly creates a shell around it that, you know what I'm saying, mimics its energy? So when I was saying
Mm,
that, when I was saying that, because everything is, you know what I'm saying, is energy. Like how does the cell know not to build up? Just like, so like when we talk about recessive,
Hmm.
well, like you say you got your great granddaddy eyes, right? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, what are we really saying there? Like, I mean, is it possible that there could be a pool of choices, and based upon the spirit of that person, you know what I'm saying, the choice is made. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would cause it to not pick the dominant?
I think I'm not thorough enough to explain it fully, but uh, I should be. I don't took a lot of classes on that type of stuff, but I think it can be explained. You know what I'm saying, or they at least have an explanation that they give to people for it. But I don't know that we can say that that's, of course that's always up for grabs, I guess. But that particular thing is, there is a pool of choices based on
mm-hmm.
what you made up of, your
Mm-hmm.
ancestors on both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so from there, uh, you might, I guess we have other things that play too. Like, I guess maybe you can be a carrier for certain genes that you don't possess, like you don't
Mm-hmm.
exhibit. You know what I'm saying?
For future?
Cause I got, like,
Yeah.
my granddaddy is short and real dark skin, and I got an uncle that's light skinned with green eyes. I got an uncle that's real dark skinned with silver blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? And it's just somewhere along the lines, it's somebody done been in there. You know what I'm saying?
That shit
And
crazy. Like, bro, what you got, Melvin? What you got against epigenetics? Because to me, epigenetics explains how like emotional connections as well as environmental
yeah,
connections can cause certain traits to be turned on or turned off
definitely. And
for
I think
periods of time.
we deal with a lot of that when we talk about even the communities and how we can be tribal people sometimes, as far as territorial, even
Hmm.
shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like
how trends come back in cycles. Like, I think about that shit and I be like, hold on, bro.
yeah,
That's got to be some form of modern epigenetics with our genes because it's like, bro, that shit
music,
just keep coming. It get turned on for one generation, come back.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You like, oh
the
shit.
music, the way we dance,
Mm-hmm.
like all of it's so many different aspects to it that make you a culture, that make you come, you know what I'm saying, that set you apart. And it's
Okay.
like, I think that's something that we can say is there, whether we are looking at the same group of people that split up over a course of hundreds of millions of years and evolved differently,
Mm-hmm.
or something was introduced to, you know what I'm saying, switch some stuff up, or both.
I would say, shoot, it's a possibility of all that. Cause like life is just too it's complex but simple at the same time. You feel me? That's the
Right.
balance of it.
It's an
But
engine. It's a car. It's just like a car, bro. Like they base electronics, and they base their first
oh yeah, all the
ideas off
creations of
of
man.
life. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
And
Like
our
you need,
understanding of it.
yeah, you need air intake, you need fire, you need combustion, you need all these things that's going on in the body, the computer,
And it
everything. You know what I'm
explains the
saying?
evolution of our technology. The more we learn about the body, the more we create different things. You know, we got plasma machines now. You know what I mean? The more we understand the body. Like literally they using plasma to burn stuff and make different shit. You know, it's like, okay. Then you study the car, shit built slick like the body is. So when you think
Um,
about that shit, it's like, shoot, there's no way around the fact that it's important for us to understand why our bodies are structured the way they do. I mean, they are, as well as, some of the questions Melvin asking, as well as why our bodies function like they do. Like,
yeah,
I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I do have fun with figuring shit out. So I
definitely.
definitely, if I'm asked the right questions, you know what I'm saying, might not come up with that shit tonight, but it would definitely pop up in my life along the way.
Okay, I got a question.
Well,
Hmm.
hold on real quick though. Don't
Yes,
What's
forget.
sir.
that?
You said what do I have against epigenetics? I never got
Yeah.
to answer that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't have nothing against it. I do believe that
I
there
mean,
is.
like, what you feel about it?
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's validity to all of that, and I just want to clarify that I do see that there are differences amongst us, but ultimately, why would we expect them not? There not to be. But more importantly, I guess what I want to get to, and I'm not trying to segue away from your question, Rodney, but I want to put
No,
this
you
out
good.
there
You good.
quick. Um, how much of what we're seeing as far as actions is learned behavior versus innate behavior? I guess that's more important because we are all agree that, you know what I'm saying, there's physical differences. Is half of them
That's
ain't got the rest
easy.
we do, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But
That's
what
kind of goes into like saying that somebody that grow up in a neighborhood might adapt the same characteristics even though they white. You know what I'm saying? Or might they grow up in the hood, but I think it's still like it's some white people that can even dance good. And it ain't even no diss to white people, but just facts. You know what I'm saying? It's some white people that can dance and make you think. You know what I'm saying? If it was a silhouette, you'd be like, damn, that's a black person. Or it's some white people that can sing like Robin
Mm.
Thicke, and they make you say, oh, that's a white, but it's so rare. And when they do it, it's not the same. You can always tell, but the and I'm not saying this in a pro. I'm not even trying to say this in a pro black way or nothing like that. But you can tell the difference because they say it. They know it. You can tell the difference when you have a like on the. It's a show called The Four. You know what I'm saying? Like they just sent home some of the most powerful and I mean, extraordinary voices for somebody that did it. And he might have been a underdog, it's a white dude that sang kind of like a black dude, he a Robin Thicke type dude, and he wasn't as good. You know what I'm saying? But because he was a white boy and he did it, it was like cool. He you know what I'm saying, made him look better or whatever. But and I'm just saying that to say like there are differences that in that way, like even you can go into maybe Asians and mathematics, for instance, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where you
Hey,
see
Rodney.
statistically, yeah,
Let me veg you back on you before you go into the Asian. Hold that real quick. What
yeah,
about like in the '60s and before? It was a such music called soul music, and
yeah.
wasn't too many people in that genre but us. Like, and it used to be known, like motherfuckers used to
Even the
just be
blues.
like, and when they seen us dancing, they be like, "Ooh, they got soul." You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it's to the point it became a stigma to be like, "Hey, you can't just say black people got soul." Like, just like when we saying, "Man, what up, bruh?" or "What up, nigga?" You know what I'm saying? They like, "Shit, don't be saying that N word in front of me." It's only because you can't say it. And now with the change of the guard, you want to say we can't say it because y'all saying it. But what about this whole concept that came before us about black people having soul, and that was not related to nobody else? Like it wasn't even, damn.
We can
What the
still
fuck?
hear you though, fam.
Yeah, it wasn't even related to the what's the name? You know what I mean? To like being disrespectful or degrading another group.
Right.
So I'm just wondering like what changed or what transpired to like make that happen because I remember being a kid and it was only associated with us, and I'm pretty sure it was worse. I mean, not worse, but it was more so that way when our parents was kids, because like I said, it was a such thing called soul music, soul food, like, and all this is coming from a group of people that are our ancestors. So it's like for us to give that up so easily when what I mean, it's not like we saying, "Hey, shit, fuck them," because they ain't got no souls. I'm just saying, like, it's something that we got to think about before we just be running around talking about, hold on, everybody the same, but you gotta override your eyes in order to be like everybody the same. Because I don't think we would appear the way we do if it wasn't some differences inside and outside.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, there are differences.
let's be very clear that the statement was not made that
I
everybody
didn't.
decided.
I didn't say you did, bro. I'm just saying
Yeah.
like for the people, like, cause we, this us talking, but it's a whole conversation. Cause other people feel like ain't no difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point for the push for equality, integration, all of that. When at the end of the day, it's separate. Whether you want to do it that way or not, all of this shit separate when it go down to their table. So
Well, I guess my thing. Well, Rodney, you was talking. You was finna say something about the Asians, or that's what
Yeah,
the
I was.
last thing you said.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just using it as an example. I didn't even mean to get on differences between black and white folks. I was just that's why I went to a different example. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just
Keep
pointing out
respect.
that yeah, yeah, just pointing out that you know what I'm saying like every their attributes, different attributes that
Mm-hmm.
can would tend to be, like athleticism, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Like kinesthetic. Being kinesthetic is something that's more common in an African black and person of color. You know what I'm saying? And there are kinesthetic and very well, trained athletes that are of all races, but naturally we be able to do things that, and they know it. They're afraid of it. I feel like that's where a lot of racism and stuff like that come from, or over the years. I'm talking about in back in history, throughout history. You know what I'm saying? Like they're,
So
yeah,
I mean, I feel you because kinesthetic is when someone can learn by through doing, right? That's the
well, it's just being a natural. You know how somebody just pick up a basketball and go down the court dribbling. That's the first time they ever did it, or you just have a natural gift of being athletic. You know what I'm saying? Like where you see kids in the hood that could run, naturally just fast as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying, cause I know others that can, but like, it's a dime a dozen in the hood, and it ain't cause they running from the police, but it's just literally, like, for instance, Ethiopians win the long distance running in the Olympics a lot more. The Jamaicans win the sprinting in the Olympics a lot more versus, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, okay. So I just typed it in real quick because I just wanted to be clear. But I
Mm-hmm.
got it says tactile learning is a learning
Mm-hmm.
style of, or kinesthetics is a learning in which takes place by carrying out physical activities rather than listening to a lecture or watching demonstration. Which is what,
So
yeah. So, but I
so
mean, but that still go in line with what you're saying, though. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't. You said because that's what you had said though. You said some people don't learn. You know what I'm saying, the same
right.
way, something like that. You said you think they
Well,
know
I'm
this.
just, well, I'm
Yeah,
using it in the I used the word wrong then. But I mean like having like people that like there's a difference in physical makeup. There are documentaries all about this that come on TV all the time. Like that's what the whole movie Get Out is about. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like this is something that's supposed. I would say is a common ideal theory that people of color are more naturally gifted in being athletic. That's what I mean when I say kinesthetic.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you on that. And I mean, if you had a physical makeup that was more conducive to such things, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I would agree. Me and Red was the last time we was on, or last time I was on, we was talking about how, you know what I'm saying, I ain't no huge person, but I've always had like that country strength, like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't lift no weights or nothing, but like nigga, I move a car. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've always had that type of strength. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not to
I don't
say
I don't
that
have to,
others don't. It's just something that is innate. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
and that
So
could go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so with that being said, like I'm on the same page as far as those things. Like when I said, looking from the outside, I mean, I guess you do have to look at the inside too. But I do think the soul has a great deal to do with how you look and how you act. But
Agreed.
but
Hold on, I
can we?
agree.
Yeah,
But
but
what
I
you how you gonna say but after that?
well, it's not nothing to take away from what I just said. But can we say that uh white people, you know what I'm saying, are because I you know what I'm saying, I got to keep it funky because that's the type of talk I hear, you you know what I'm saying, on other platforms and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can we say that they have, you know, are white people the devil? Let's put it like that. Let's go on straight on out and ask that question. You know what I'm saying? Are they an evil type of being? Because that's the type of feeling that I get when I'm talking to some people in this, you know what I'm saying, about this type of topic or some of the
Okay, so
stuff
let's
I hear.
let's put that in context. So
Right.
first of all, let me say that I can't say that I don't know enough to say what I am before I can say what anybody else is. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I would say this, like going along with what you're saying about on different platforms when they mention white people are the devil and the inverse is that we are gods or whatever, right? And so
right,
or we are some type of special people that have something different than everybody else. So
basic.
what I would say is that if we were gonna say that, if we were gonna use that theory as fact or as what we're gonna run with, we still have to put it into to context that to say that that's what I am, I'm only the remnants of what used to be. And so that means that if that's where they came from, those that we see today are the remnants of what white men used to be. And I think that it's like not saying that, you know what I'm saying, they are or whatever, but all the stories point to us all coming from an extraterrestrial or heavenly place at one point in time. That's all. We all have the same origin. So what made white man devil, if we're gonna say that, and us something different, is simply the choice of the same creator. If we go with that theory, you know what I'm saying. And so what I was gonna mention a little earlier is there. If y'all asked if y'all heard of the Grand Canyon, the pyramids and the mummies and the Egyptian artifacts and burials that was found in the Grand Canyon. And the reason why I asked that is because my if I had to say what I thought it really was, it is that one time for a long period of time up until recently that there was only one people, and if it and it was only like maybe the color people of color here, and I feel like white people came at you know, we were here a long time before white people came.
So when you say
Everything that I
came,
seen that, yep.
you said so you think so you stand on the premise that they came at a later time.
Whether yes, whether they were created by, you know what I'm saying, some form of fashion, they evolved from something, or they literally came from a
That was
different
my
place.
okay. That's what I that's now see. Now I can rock with that. I can understand that. I can understand that the possibility of being created at a different time, right? What?
Hmm.
Because if we, I mean, that's if we assuming that, you know what I'm saying, there's a creative force that actually created man that we see today. Okay, and
But that could also mean that, you know, leprosy or whatever people cast
uh
away, or people or
see, we used
some
to have a lot of
small.
people.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
leprosy is a disease where you gonna have pieces of skin coming off. Like you gonna have skin infections and stuff. It's not just a lack of pigmentation. But I'm still
But you
sticking to.
can. But have you seen that
Uh-huh.
movie? Have you seen the movie King Arthur?
No.
It's a movie where, well, I don't even know why I asked. There's been so many of them, but I think it's the one with Mel Gibson in it, and one of the kings or royalty. And this is something that is in a lot of visuals and a lot of things that we see, you know what I'm saying? In those days, there were a lot of lepers. You know what I'm saying? There were in the white, you know what I'm saying, populations and stuff like that. And that I'm just saying that to say I wouldn't straight rule that out and say that they I'm not saying that they all were lepers at first. I'm saying that, like,
It's an important part of their history
yeah, it
because
could be. That
that's how they got their priesthood. Like y'all ever heard of? Okay, throw out a reference message. It's a book called Dirt,
mm,
and it talks about the whole history of like how they used to get priesthood based on if you could lick the wounds of a leopard or a person with leprosy. You feel me? With the pus coming out and you not get sick and die. You know what I'm saying? Based on that, you was granted priesthood or sainthood. So when you think about that, like it's obvious that okay, if there's differences on multiple levels. Like in our culture, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, cleanliness is next to godliness to us. And before now, we was getting the poverty teachings based on what somebody else wanted us to hear. So there's obviously a difference in perspective as well. So when we get to talking about the differences, like you can put certain animals in different environments, and it would change like they colors or change the way they live.
hmm
Okay,
or
when
it's a
we
study.
Even extend ligaments. You know what I'm
so
saying?
so
So with that being said, humans though,
yes.
that ain't been proven to be something that's possible. So with that being said, it's like I think it is a difference in people.
Well, they
So
can be bred.
I would
Go ahead,
agree too.
go ahead, man. My bad.
no, but the thing about the leprosy and the
And
licking
we
the
obviously
wounds
can
and
breed because we
stuff,
got mixed people. So yeah, I agree.
the thing about leprosy and the licking the wounds and stuff, you're right about that, and that's actually where the idea of immunization started as well.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
along with that, there were white people who existed before that that were known for having great baths and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And
But who taught them about the baths though?
no,
Right.
that whole
I
thing
know, no.
way later. That whole thing happened way later. We talking
What
about
whole thing happened way later?
the Moors went to Europe and taught white people how to take a bath and all that shit.
So
That
why
shit.
would you have to teach a group of people how to take a bath if they already had great baths?
No, we not talking about the same group of white people though. That's the
Okay,
whole.
so who name the differences? Because I'm getting confused now.
Well, we talking about
I'm pretty
thousands of
sure there
years.
are different people. I'm just saying,
I
put
and
that
I
out
think
there for
that's
the
the
people
trick,
too,
though,
though.
man. But I
No,
think that's the whole trick. The difference in these time spans, fam.
yeah, we
Like, I
talking
don't think it
thousands of
was.
years.
Yeah, we talking about thousands of years, but I think a lot of stuff get mixed up, bro. Like
Okay,
they say,
let
the
me ask
Dark
y'all this.
Ages.
Hold on. Let me
Right.
ask y'all this. Do y'all really think? Do y'all
Mm-hmm.
really think
Mm-hmm.
that no white people like innately had a thought to take a bath to clean themselves? Like somebody really had to teach them that?
Can I
Do
let me get
y'all-
that, bro? Cause
Please.
I don't even think on that level. I think like I got here before my kids, right? So it's a lot of stuff I got to teach them. I don't think they slow. I don't think they retarded. You feel me? But the fact that I got here, it's my responsibility and my accountability to do it. But when that shit is flipped on his head, and the people that was here first are being taught by the people that came later, we look at shit and everything is in reverse.
Those people who were in reverse because of religions and because of the
Okay, but
things
where did they get these religions from? Who
from
pushed the conversion
us.
on these people?
From
And
us.
who are the people?
The thing is that
Obviously, it would
everybody's
be black
subject to
people when we talking about us,
suggestions.
right?
No, but the thing is everybody is subject to suggestion. If you tell somebody, hey, if you can lick
True.
this, you know what I'm saying? So we're
But
talking
we
about
wasn't on that shit
hold
though. Like
we
that
talk,
was never mentioned in African culture
I
about
didn't
people
say it
licking.
was though, but that don't mean that you know what I'm
So
saying
it's
that
obviously a
hold
difference in
on,
cultural understanding
hold
of
on, let me
sickness.
finish my statement. It's not obviously a difference in culture. It's, you know what I'm saying, what was going on with them during that time is what I'm
I
saying.
said on that topic alone, if they licking puss and then you look in the other culture and they not licking puss, that's a difference, bruh. So there's obviously a difference in understanding of sickness. And if we say one
Bruh.
group might have came later, guess what? They will understand sickness a little different than the people who been here done that shit. Like nigga, you don't lick no motherfucking sickness, bro, unless you trying to die.
Right. Anyways,
I
like I
mean, and
was
we know that shit, and we ain't been here longer than the motherfuckers who we talking about and they
right.
artifacts. You feel
All
me?
I'm saying is there were people that were white that were before them who knew better than not to do that shit
And
too.
I said,
I'm saying,
name them people because it's getting
bruh,
confusing. If
the
we know you
Roman
agree, the Moors had to
you
teach
can
a
even
certain group of people.
you can look at Mycenaean culture, you can look at Romans, you can look at Slavic individuals, you can look at any white culture other than
That's
the
after.
That's
I
after,
think that's
bro. It gotta
after,
be.
bro.
How you name them people Slavics
okay,
if they
time out.
weren't obviously fucked
Time
up?
out. What period of time were white people licking their wounds and licking pus? Let's get a date here because we got to make this shit concrete because y'all kind of
Oh, now we gotta get a date
no.
Okay,
Okay,
because you
so
can't.
I can give you a date,
let's
but
let's
I'm
let's let's let's. I think we should.
My
I think we
sin.
should
I
switch
ain't never
the.
heard of the
no,
Messian
let's not
people.
switch, bro. No, we're not gonna switch it. We're gonna get a date and we're gonna solidify some things. Let's not
Okay,
run
we
from.
know the Moors was in AD. So you
Okay,
look up the Dark Ages like you ain't never heard of the Dark Ages. You just agreed
And
you
the
know
Dark
about the
Ages would
Moors.
be AD as
So
well.
why we gotta name a date when you already agreed you know about the time we talking about?
okay, but that's what I'm saying. When was the Dark Ages? Let's look it up right now.
So the Dark
Okay,
Ages
pull it
would
up.
have to be AD 1100s and forward. I would think. That's my guess.
So
It
what time
says
period are you talking about, Melvin?
migration periods, also called Dark Ages or early Middle Ages, the early medieval period of Western Europe, historically specify or Western European history, specifically the time 476 to 800 of the Common Era.
Say
Okay,
that again. You were breaking up the last part.
476 to 800 Common Area, when there was no Roman or Holy Roman Emperor in the West, or more generally, the period between 500 and 1000, which was marked by frequent warfare. Okay,
I don't
now
know what that means.
So that means that this is what had to happen in this period of time from the time these people were nothing and we could just go get them out of the woods to the time they've developed an empire strong enough to challenge. You know what I'm
and
saying? So
okay,
go ahead.
and when
And
did the
that in that amount of time.
when were the
Cause the
Ptolemies?
Mycenaean Empire wasn't mentioned like over the Roman Empire. That's their biggest empire. I don't like why we never heard of these empires that you named.
Cause
Like when they
they
tell
called
their
like
story,
Look it up. Okay,
they
I
called like
believe you. I
Germanic.
don't think you lying. I'm just saying, bro. Like
but,
why we never hear about these
hold on,
empires?
because y'all, I don't know, y'all research differently, I guess, but let me,
No, 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 no. We went to their schools. Don't play them games.
bro, I did too. What do you mean?
Okay, so we
We
never heard of the
obviously,
Mycenaean Empire in school, bro. Don't play that. You said you researched it, so
you
obviously
said,
you
why
did this
you
on
said,
your own.
no, you said why we ain't never. I didn't know you meant in school specifically because
Okay, I said when they tell their stories. So I heard
uh,
they
you,
stories in school. You feel me? Like on my own, I look for my own people to teach me.
all right, but yeah, so the Dark Ages we know is hundreds of years AD, right? But we know
Right.
The Ptolemaic era where they started coming in Egypt was BC. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere from, or it says founded 305 BC. So we know that there were white people who existed way before 305 BC because they were established enough to come in, take a stronghold over such a staple civilization like Egypt, Alexandria to be specific, to come in and take over. So we're not talking about
So
a rookie during
so
this time.
Alexandria was
Was a
Alexandria. Go ahead.
Alexandria is a city in Egypt, right?
What
And
made
we
by
talk,
who? Where? What is Alexandria like? How did Alexandria come about?
Right.
What do you? I mean, people
I
started
think
selling.
Alexander the Great.
Right. We what we
That's
saying
what
is our people had already left or been conquered at that point. The ones that were still there.
to further my point, these people were not the type of people who was running around licking wounds, not taking baths, and they were
You're
white.
not hearing what okay, I hear what you saying. You
So
saying they weren't no pushovers. What
so
I'm
I'm saying,
saying
but
is
I'm
the people of
But
power.
no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the thing about black people having to go teach white people to take a bath is way after white people even existed to begin with. So we can't say that. And that there was a certain type of white people who had a certain ideology during a certain time that needed some correction. That's it.
And I
Okay,
and I
but
and
that's
I see what bro's saying. I see what
hold
you're
on.
saying.
I
Because
see
we
what
talking
he's
about
saying
thousands
too,
of
but
years
at the
before
same
that.
time, that's spoken like I think is only one kind of white person. Like I don't know there's Russians. Like I don't know, you know what I'm saying, there's Australian. Like
Yeah. So that's
I don't
but
think like it's just one kind of white person. So I do
okay.
know in the dark ages there was some Caucasians that came
Mm-hmm.
from the Caucasus Mountain that needed some assistance from our
Nice.
brothers who, like today, whenever people need assistance, we know what we know about people and how they're gonna treat us afterwards. We still do what we do. And it don't change the fact it's the same thing, bro. That's going on today that was going on in history. And that's how we know when we look back on different perspectives and we compare both stories from the perspective of people that don't look like us, and then we compare the perspective of people that look like us. Cause that's what we talking about when we really get to the bottom line of it. Cause like you said, hey, you research different, I research different. I ain't gonna lie to you. I heard enough of other people's perspective on what happened on history in school. So when I started researching on my own, don't get me wrong, I still look over to the other side, see what they talking about for comparative studies. You feel me? But don't get it twisted. I look to my people first because I understand where my identity and perspective lies, so I can look
Absolutely.
out from the world from a different angle rather
And
than looking
everybody
out
else
from the
does
world
the
from
same.
yeah. And
Yeah.
but we feel the need to like make sure nobody else feels uncomfortable. Like they don't never have to tell us, oh yeah, we thought about y'all when we passed this law. Like no, the fuck they
But I'm
don't.
not gonna. But with that being said, I'm not gonna look at things so just to make sure we are do feel comfortable. I want to feel uncomfortable as I can, as long as it's the truth. That's
It's
my whole.
already uncomfortable being in America. I don't gotta look for discomfort. You know what I'm saying? Like I
I'm,
don't
that's what I'm saying. I'm not looking for discomfort. I'm looking for the truth, though. It don't matter
right, and
what
I
the truth
also ain't
is. If it's true, it's true.
Okay.
I
Okay,
also
so
ain't
that's
comforting myself in lies either, though, bro. Like I
Right.
know from growing up in religion, you know what that'll do to you. So, like, don't get it twisted, bro. I ain't gonna not acknowledge my eyes. You feel me? Like, I can't sit here and be like, okay, I see what I see, but it's got to be deeper than that. Just because I met one person that looked at me different, but in the overall, nigga, that one person don't outweigh the rest of them. They say in order to outweigh one negative, you gotta have 16 positives. So when
But
you think about that shit, bro, like it's like, come on, bro. If we do that shit on the scale of people, that's just on the energy level, and we
right,
know
so
people
to,
are made up of energy.
and
So if
all I'm
you
saying,
got one person who don't like you, that's more than one negative, with just to make that person up.
so all I'm saying is when we talk about
I
white
knew
people
was
not
finna
taking,
say something.
okay,
I,
no,
real
you go ahead, you go ahead, you can go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say when we talk about white people not taking baths and we want to take the prideful role of being the ones that taught them how to wash their ass, are
no,
we
no,
gonna?
no, no. We just gonna tell the
And
Yes,
truth.
we
it
are.
ain't that ain't
Yes, we are.
prideful,
Because every
bruh.
time I hear that, it
That's
is
not
prideful.
prideful.
Well,
I'm
why
gonna
we
tell you what
always
it is. I'm gonna tell you why it's not prideful.
They even said that.
Because of the last. It's not prideful because of the last 400 years. Like if we was just talking about, if we was just sitting around talking about, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we had to teach them how to. Man, we talking about these
We
people that
found this
done.
shit out secretly. You sleep.
Yeah, we talking about. We talk, like the shit that they say about us is all.
We don't go
This
around
the same.
telling them that shit.
say
This
that.
no. This the same shit they tell to us, fam. They treat us like we stink today.
Right.
They walk around this motherfucker like we the dirty ones. So
And we
that's why it's not a pride thing.
and we know
It's
this
they
shit and
it,
still don't say that shit to them like in public, bro. I don't be going up
right.
to none of white people I work with, and none of white people I see passing. Hey, bro, you know we just taught y'all to wipe y'all ass in America 100 years, less than 100 years ago. Like, so it ain't just happened over there in Europe. It happened
Literally.
here too.
We raised their kids throughout slavery. We raised them.
So
They
to
are
be
babies.
disrespected
You
like
know what I'm
we've
saying?
been, it's not pride. It's about like, damn, bro, for real. This the things I get. You know the concept of don't bite the hand that feeds you. Like it's a lot of stuff we taught you on how to feed yourself over here too. Like
They don't taught us our whole fake history when every
it's
hero they
not
got
pride.
was taking credit from a black man.
If
The
But my
the
somebody
Russian
thing is,
language the Russian language itself developed by a black man.
one
look,
last
A
thing, and I'm
black
finna
woman
let you go,
wrote
Melvin.
Shakespeare. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things throughout history happen, and then when you get
Hmm.
to 2018, and we like, hold up, this ain't what it really was. You mean to tell me I've been walking around this motherfucker feeling like I wasn't shit? You know
And
what I'm
not
saying?
and not just us, not
okay,
just black people are coming to this realization, Melvin. Like as sure as we seeing this shit in 2018, we're having access to information like we do. Other people are seeing this, so it's not the black people that are having pride, nor the white people that are having pride. It's just a correction being made after so long being lied to as
It's
a
a
all right,
level
whole.
set. It's
all
level
right,
set.
stop. All right, real quick, real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of all the things that black folk have done. I was simply address because I won't take that away. I don't know if black folk invented the Russian language. To me, that's something significant. To say that we taught people how to take a bath, I think is a little crazy. That's why I addressed that
That's
one.
If
But
if
significant.
if
That's
we if we
significant,
did
bro. You
hold
would
on,
something,
die if
I'll
you
let
don't
y'all
wash
talk.
your
I'll let y'all
ass.
talk. I'll let y'all talk. I'll let y'all talk. Like seriously though, seriously though.
That's
I
significant,
don't think
bro.
I don't think that anybody, you know what I'm saying, in their right mind is gonna smell their arms, you know what I'm saying,
people
and
do it
not,
today,
not
bruh. People do
bruh,
that
hold on,
today.
hold on, and not go take a bath. I said in their right mind. Maybe that person's not in their right mind, is what I'm
Man,
saying.
people of other religions do that today. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that
From
was my
that
whole
part of the
point.
world.
And
From
that was
that
my
part of the
whole
world.
point. There was religious ideals that even started that bullshit.
But
That is the
no,
whole
Nah.
man.
point.
I think
That was the
I'm pretty sure you can get on YouTube and you can find a channel of British women that don't believe in shaving and washing their arms.
That's
And I'm
You know what
okay.
I'm
pretty sure
saying?
religion
See,
started just like
that is people.
gangs, like me and you and Rodney hanging together. Another group of people get together, or the government see us together and say, "Oh, they a gang," and that's what it is. Don't mean these people in the beginning of these so-called religions was calling themselves Christians,
It's
Muslims, none of that
because
shit.
it
It's
could
just
be
the way these
culture.
people was living around them,
So this is what
It's
we
and that's
culture.
culture.
this no, no. Okay, culture can play a
If
role
you
in
the
it. Like you
last
said, the
motherfucker to come
British.
out the cave, bro, it's certain shit you ain't learned to do. That's simple, bro, and it ain't even no disrespect. Like we had to learn to wash our ass. Just
Right.
so
And I mean
happened it
it
was
just
just
might have been a
us.
different it just
Did
might
we
have been a
have to?
different perspective.
Did
I
we
mean,
have to?
you might have wanted to be in the woods and the animals know your scent for which the type of
Come on
animals you
now,
hunt. It
for
could be
different
all
reasons.
different kind of reasons,
Uh, yeah,
but to
well, no.
civilize and do what they
And
tell us.
civilized mean when different groups of people come in contact, how they act with each other. So if you stinking like a motherfucker in our culture, we don't like that shit. That's
and they
disrespectful. Guess
and
what?
they
You gotta
flipped
change
it
that.
on us. They said they came and got us from over there
And we was
and did
thinking
us a favor. They said they still said it
that, but
today.
we
If
got pride when we like,
we
nah,
should
that's a
be
lie,
even,
bro.
this is what Marvin would say. We should be thankful that they came and got us out them bushes.
And we
That's what
should be
Marvin would
thankful
say.
and not
That's
tell what we know in 2018 because it'd be
But
all I'm
really,
saying,
it was the other way around.
bruh. There is no evidence outside of the dark ages to support that white people needed to be taught how to
You want
get
me?
take a bath. Let me
You
finish
want me to
before
tell
y'all
you
interrupt, because I
why?
know y'all
you
finna
keep
interrupt me.
harboring on the bath
I know
though.
y'all finna interrupt me. I know y'all finna interrupt me. Please
But you
They
let me
keep
finish
burned
saying
it.
the
bath. Why you
sentence,
keep
They
saying
bruh.
burned
bath
it
like
Let
it
me
ain't
all.
finish
other
the
shit?
sentence,
It's
bruh.
because they burned it
Bruh,
all and they shot the
your
noses
stream
off
gonna
all the
sound terrible,
evidence.
bruh, if you can't let people talk, bruh. Damn. Let a nigga finish the sentence, though.
I
Go on
mean,
and
I
do your
mean,
thing, man. Let him do
I'm
his
a
thing, right?
y'all talk,
Cause
y'all talk, y'all talk, y'all
I
talk. Go ahead,
mean,
tell them how dirty white people is, and I'm gonna listen. And then when I hear complete utter silence, then I'll attempt to talk. God damn.
and
I
you
mean,
gonna
it ain't
set
even
the
that serious
narrative,
though.
bro.
I mean, that ain't even that serious because you cut me off to get in your sentence. So at the end of the day, let's talk.
That's all we doing, family. We talking. And at the end of the day, it's still gonna be whatever it's gonna be. But for us to find understanding amongst brothers, when it go down, we need to know, regardless, bruh, you can't harbor on just a bath, because it's more than a bath. Like a bath, that's deeper than the nigga wanna say just you throwing water on your ass.
And the
Cause you
only
wouldn't be
reason
have no
why it's
sores
even
on
a
your ass if you
conversation,
washing your ass.
and the only reason why that's even a conversation is because this is what they have told us.
Mm-hmm.
This is the whole ideology that they made us feel like we dirty animals, and to learn different, and not only learn different, but to learn they literally flip this shit upside down. You know what I'm saying? And it's like nothing against white people today. Like I said, starting out, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? I got white people in my family throughout my. You know what I'm saying? So I be silly to sit up here and talk like I'm. You know what I'm saying? Like I got something against white people, but we talking about history and we talking about what we believe is how we got here and what's what. That's why I brought up the Egyptians and uh, the Grand Canyon. If people were here that long ago and either responsible for the Indian population or were in contact with the Indian population, we were everywhere else, and we know Indians tied with Asians, and this small piece of land on Earth has a different type of people. A small, you know what I'm saying? Like when we talking about like Russia, that and all of that is huge, of course. But we talking about like these people come from. I mean, how were we in America and we were everywhere else, but we weren't up in Russia and we weren't, you know what I'm saying, in these other places. You know what I'm saying? And the dude that created the Russian language is Alexander something. You know what I'm saying? Pushkin, I think. But you know what I'm saying? I think for us to have had contact with as much of the world as we did before any white man, it shows that we were the dominant race. Whether they came, whether we just never went that way because it was cold, or whether they were introduced again, I think it's a difference, bro. It got to be a difference, and they know it's a difference. They fight to hide that difference. They know they tell. I've heard them tell me. You know what I'm saying? They've told me, and when I say they, I don't mean all of them, of course, but different people I've talked to have come to me and talked to me about. You know what I'm saying? What they understand, which is this, all the same shit. And I think this is throughout when they were discovering shit, when they dug up, and I'm gonna cut it short. I know I'm talking long, but when they was going and digging up all around the world, when they really started their archaeologist campaign, we were probably the least from the farthest from being a citizen, like a real citizen, to be able to have a say so in any of this. So we don't know shit. We don't know what they done burnt. We can't prove when we taught them anything. Of course they would hide that shit. If they was shooting those off of statues and they was taking credit for winning this and doing this shit, of course they will hide all this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it only makes sense. And it's the what other reason do they have for so much secrecy? Like we can all agree that it's secrecy everywhere and it's intentional secrecy. It's not a conspiracy theory shit. Like this shit is literally hidden. They got shit hidden and it's something. It's aliens, it's something. You know what I'm saying? And so we know that they punished us for a reason. And that's how I look at it. And that's my overall stand. I'm gonna shut up. You know what I'm saying?
So, little bruh. You got the flow, cause it's, you know what I'm saying. I apologize if you feel anywhat disrespected. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Bruh, we already went over and y'all brought up the thing about white people having to be taught how to take a bath. Okay, I just want to be very clear here. Y'all ain't the first people I heard say that shit. I hear it like it's a thing. Like, we did that thing. And what I was simply trying to say was the fact that the black man created the Russian language is a whole lot more important than who taught them how to take a bath, especially since we can prove that that shit ain't true. Especially since y'all said that they taught us in our schools that we taught them how to take a bath. Y'all said that. Y'all said that we learned about the Moors teaching white people how to take